Imagine if your thoughts had the power to heal your body. What if you could break free from chronic pain, illness, or even your limitations, all through the power of your mind? Do you ever wonder how some people seem to miraculously recover from ailments, while others struggle despite medical treatment? What if I told you that you already have the tools within you to unlock that kind of healing potential? In today's video, we are diving deep into You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza, a book that could completely transform how you see your mind, body, and health. Stick around because what you'll learn today just might change your life. Introduction. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a world-renowned author, speaker, and expert in neuroscience, known for his groundbreaking work in exploring the connection between the brain, the mind, and our physical reality. He rose to prominence with his research into how we can use meditation and visualization to change the brain's neural pathways, ultimately influencing our biology and health. His work has inspired countless people to rethink what's possible in their own lives. In You Are the Placebo, Dispenza challenges conventional wisdom, proposing that the power of belief, what we often refer to as the placebo effect, is more than just a quirky medical mystery. Instead, it's a profound insight into how the mind has the power to heal the body. The key message of the book is that we can take control of our health, emotions, and overall life experience by consciously shaping our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. The placebo effect, which has been traditionally associated with people feeling better after taking fake pills or undergoing sham surgeries, is not an anomaly. It's proof that the mind can create real, physical changes in the body. Dispenza takes this concept further, teaching us how to tap into this power and become the placebo ourselves. The central premise of the book is simple, yet profound. Our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have a direct and powerful impact on our health and well-being. By harnessing the power of the mind, we can consciously change our internal and external realities. Dispenza argues that we can move beyond being victims of circumstances and instead become active creators of our own lives. Through a combination of neuroscience, quantum physics, and practical techniques like meditation and visualization, the book offers a blueprint for self-healing and personal transformation. Chapter 1. Is it possible? The book opens with a captivating question. Is it possible to heal ourselves using only the power of the mind? Dispenza recounts a number of stories where people experience spontaneous remissions from illnesses like cancer, heart disease, and chronic pain, not through traditional medicine, but through a shift in their beliefs. This sets the stage for one of the book's main ideas, that the mind has an untapped power to influence the body. In this chapter, Dispenza introduces his own personal story of healing. After a severe spinal injury, he was given few options by medical professionals. Surgery, they said, was his only hope of walking again. Instead, he decided to take matters into his own hands. He focused on healing his body through intense mental focus, visualization, and meditation. To the amazement of his doctors, he recovered fully. This experience became the foundation of his lifelong quest to understand the mind-body connection. The chapter then explores the history of the placebo effect and how medical professionals have long known that belief alone can result in dramatic physical changes. The term placebo comes from the Latin phrase, "I shall please," which was originally used to describe treatments designed to calm patients rather than cure them. However, many patients who received these placebo treatments actually improved, and medical researchers started to take notice. Could it be, Dispenza asks, that the power of belief is at the root of all healing? He argues that belief alone can trigger physiological changes in the brain and body, leading to healing. This idea, while still controversial in mainstream medicine, forms the foundation for the rest of the book. Chapter 2. The Placebo Effect in Medicine. In the second chapter, Dispenza delves deeper into the medical history and research behind the placebo effect. He highlights fascinating studies where patients, given nothing more than a sugar pill or a saline injection, experienced real improvements in their conditions. In some cases, these placebo treatments were as effective as actual medications. For example, he recounts studies where patients who underwent fake surgeries, where doctors made incisions but didn't actually perform the intended operation, experience the same level of improvement as those who had real surgeries. How is this possible? Dispenza explains that the patient's beliefs in the effectiveness of the treatment were enough to trigger the body's healing mechanisms. The brain, when it believes healing is taking place, can send signals to the body to initiate the healing process. Dispenza explores the mechanisms behind this. The brain, he argues, cannot tell the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. When we believe that we are receiving a treatment, whether it's a pill, surgery, or any other intervention, the brain sends signals to the body to heal itself. This is not just a psychological trick, it's a biological response. The brain releases chemicals like endorphins and dopamine, which promote healing and reduce pain. The placebo effect, Dispenza argues, is not a fluke of the mind. It's proof that the mind has the power to heal the body. And if this is true, then we don't need to rely on external placebos to trigger this effect. We can become the placebo ourselves, using the power of belief and mental focus to heal and transform our lives. Chapter 3. The Science of Changing Your Mind. In this chapter, Dispenza introduces the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to new thoughts, experiences, and behaviors. This is a critical piece of the puzzle when it comes to understanding how the mind can influence the body. Neuroplasticity means that the brain is not fixed or unchangeable. Instead, it's constantly adapting and evolving based on what we think and do. Dispenza explains that every time we think a thought, we are creating electrical signals in the brain. These signals, if repeated often enough, form neural pathways, networks of connections between neurons. Over time, these pathways become stronger, shaping our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. This is why habits and patterns of thinking can be so hard to change. They are literally hardwired into the brain. However, the good news is that these neural pathways are not permanent. Through conscious effort, we can create new pathways and weaken old ones. This is where the power of the mind comes into play. Dispenza teaches that by deliberately changing our thoughts and focusing on positive, healing outcomes, we can rewire our brains to support health and well-being. This is the essence of neuroplasticity. We can change our brains, and by changing our brains, we can change our lives. He also explores the concept of epigenetics, the idea that our genes are not fixed, but are influenced by our environment and our thoughts. Dispenza argues that we are not victims of our genes. Instead, we can influence which genes are activated and expressed through our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This is a powerful concept because it means that we are not at the mercy of our biology. We have the power to shape our genetic expression through the choices we make every day. Chapter 4. Suggestibility. In this chapter, Dispenza explores why some people are more susceptible to the placebo effect than others. He introduces the concept of suggestibility, the degree to which a person is open to suggestions or new ideas. People who are highly suggestible are more likely to experience the placebo effect because they are more open to the belief that a treatment will work. Dispenza argues that we can all increase our suggestibility by becoming more open-minded and more willing to believe in the possibility of healing and transformation. This is where meditation and visualization come into play. By practicing these techniques, we can increase our ability to accept new ideas and beliefs, which in turn makes it easier for us to experience the placebo effect. He shares several studies that show how the placebo effect is stronger in people who are more suggestible. For example, in one study, patients who were more open to the idea of alternative medicine experienced greater improvements when given a placebo treatment. This suggests that our mindset plays a crucial role in how effective a treatment will be, whether it's real or not. The chapter also delves into the idea of belief systems and how they shape our reality. Dispenza explains that our beliefs act as filters, influencing how we perceive the world and what we believe is possible. If we believe that healing is possible, our brain and body will align with that belief and initiate the healing process. On the other hand, if we believe that we are stuck or doomed to suffer, our brain and body will reinforce that belief, making it harder to heal or improve our situation. Chapter 5. The Quantum Model of Reality. One of the most fascinating and controversial chapters of the book, This chapter introduces the idea that reality is not as solid or fixed as we might think. Dispenza draws on concepts from quantum physics to explain how our thoughts and emotions can influence the world around us. Quantum physics suggests that at the most fundamental level, everything in the universe is made up of energy, and that energy is influenced by consciousness. Dispenza argues that our thoughts are a form of energy, and when we focus our thoughts on a particular outcome, we can influence the energetic field around us. This is known as the quantum model of reality. In this model, all possibilities exist simultaneously in a quantum field, and our thoughts and beliefs help to collapse these possibilities into the one we experience as reality. Dispenza explains that the brain operates much like a quantum computer, processing vast amounts of information and possibilities. Our thoughts and emotions send out signals into the quantum field, much like a radio transmits signals into space. By changing the frequency of our thoughts, shifting from fear and negativity to love, gratitude, and possibility, we can attract new realities into our lives. This idea is a radical departure from the traditional Newtonian model of reality, which views the universe as a predictable, mechanical system. In the quantum model, reality is fluid, and our consciousness plays a central role in shaping it. Dispenza argues that we are not passive observers of our lives. Instead, we are active participants, constantly creating our reality through the thoughts we think and the emotions we feel. He uses this framework to explain how healing can occur on a quantum level. When we change our thoughts and emotions, we change the energetic signals we send out into the quantum field. Over time, this shift in energy can manifest as physical healing or life transformation. Dispenza emphasizes the importance of meditation and mindfulness in this process, as these practices help us focus our thoughts and emotions on positive outcomes, thereby aligning our energy with the reality we want to create. Chapter 6: 3 Stories of Personal Transformation. This chapter brings the abstract concepts of the previous chapters to life by sharing real-world examples of people who have used the power of their mind to heal and transform their lives. Dispenza presents 3 case studies of individuals who overcame serious health challenges by applying the principles he teaches. The first story is about a woman who was diagnosed with cancer and given little hope for recovery. Instead of succumbing to fear and despair, she began practicing meditation and visualization techniques. She imagined her body healing itself and focused on feeling gratitude for her health, even though she was still sick. Over time, her cancer went into remission, and her doctors were astonished by her recovery. The second story is about a man who suffered from chronic pain after a serious injury. Despite undergoing multiple surgeries and treatments, his pain persisted. After learning about the placebo effect and the power of the mind, he began to visualize himself living a pain-free life. He practiced daily meditation, focusing on feeling the emotions he would experience if he were already healed. Gradually, his pain subsided, and he was able to regain full mobility. The third story is about a woman with multiple sclerosis, a debilitating condition that left her in a wheelchair. She started using the techniques outlined in Dispenza's work: meditation, visualization, and shifting her emotional state. Over time, her symptoms began to improve, and she eventually regained the ability to walk. These stories are powerful examples of how the mind can influence the body, often in ways that defy conventional medical wisdom. Dispenza shares these stories not just to inspire, but to illustrate that anyone can harness the power of their mind to create change. These individuals didn't have access to any special resources or treatments. What they had was a belief in the possibility of healing and the discipline to apply mental techniques consistently. Their stories are a testament to the transformative power of belief and the mind-body connection. Chapter 7: Creating a New Reality. In this chapter, Dispenza shifts from theory and case studies to practical application. He provides a step-by-step guide to using meditation and visualization techniques to create a new reality. He emphasizes that the key to success is consistency. Just as it takes time and effort to form new habits or learn a new skill, rewiring the brain and changing deeply ingrained thought patterns requires patience and dedication. The first step, Dispenza explains, is to become aware of the thoughts and emotions that are shaping your current reality. Most of us operate on autopilot, running the same thoughts and emotions day after day. These habitual patterns keep us stuck in the same circumstances, even when we want to change. By becoming mindful of our thoughts and feelings, we can begin to interrupt these patterns and replace them with new, more empowering ones. The second step is mental rehearsal, which involves visualizing the life or health you want to create as if it's already happening. Dispenza encourages readers to engage all their senses in this process. Don't just think about your desired outcome. See it, hear it, feel it, and most importantly, believe it. When you combine focused thought with elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and love, you create a powerful signal that influences both your brain and the quantum field. Dispenza provides detailed instructions on how to meditate effectively, explaining that meditation is not just about relaxation. It's a tool for accessing the subconscious mind and reprogramming it with new beliefs and emotions. By consistently practicing meditation and mental rehearsal, you can begin to shift your brain's neural pathways, making it easier to think and feel in ways that align with your desired outcome. Finally, Dispenza discusses the importance of letting go of the outcome. While it's important to focus on your desired reality during meditation and visualization, it's equally important not to obsess over when or how it will manifest. Obsessing over the outcome can create stress and resistance, which blocks the flow of energy and makes it harder for change to occur. Instead, Dispenza advises, trust that the process is working and stay open to receiving your desired outcome in unexpected ways. Chapter 8. Becoming Supernatural. The final chapter of the book takes the concepts of the previous chapters to their logical conclusion. Dispenza argues that when we fully master the power of the mind, we can achieve what seems to be supernatural outcomes. He recounts more stories of people who have experienced extraordinary transformations, not just in their health, but in their entire lives. At the heart of this chapter is the idea that we are far more powerful than we've been led to believe. Dispenza challenges the notion that we are limited by our bodies, our circumstances, or our past. Instead, he argues that we have the potential to tap into the limitless energy of the quantum field and create lives of abundance, health, and joy. The only thing standing in our way is our own limiting beliefs. Dispenza encourages readers to embrace the idea that they are the creators of their reality. By taking responsibility for our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, we can move beyond the ordinary and step into a new level of consciousness. This is not just about healing from illness or overcoming challenges. It's about realizing our full potential as human beings and living a life that is truly extraordinary. He emphasizes that this journey is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of growth and expansion. Each time we challenge our limiting beliefs and step into a new reality, we expand our capacity to create even greater change. Over time, we can become supernatural, capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. Key insights. 1. Mind-body connection. The central idea of You Are the Placebo is that the mind and body are deeply interconnected. Our thoughts and emotions influence our physical state, and by changing our thoughts, we can change our bodies. The placebo effect is proof that belief alone can trigger real, measurable changes in the body, and we can harness this power deliberately. 2. Neuroplasticity. The brain is constantly changing and adapting in response to our thoughts and experiences. This process, known as neuroplasticity, means that we are not stuck with the brain we have. We can rewire our neural pathways to support health, happiness, and success. Through practices like meditation and mental rehearsal, we can create new patterns of thinking that align with our desired outcomes. 3. Quantum possibility. Dispenza introduces the idea that reality is not fixed or predetermined. Instead, it exists as a field of infinite possibilities, known as the quantum field. By focusing our thoughts and emotions on a specific outcome, we can influence the quantum field and bring that outcome into our physical reality. 4. Practical techniques. The book offers practical tools for applying these concepts in everyday life. Meditation, mental rehearsal, and emotional shifting are the key techniques Dispenza recommends for rewiring the brain and aligning with a new reality. These practices allow us to consciously create the life we want, whether that means healing from illness, achieving a goal, or transforming a difficult situation. 5. Belief as a catalyst. One of the most important insights from the book is the power of belief. When we believe that something is possible, we open the door for it to manifest in our lives. The placebo effect shows that belief can trigger powerful biological and psychological changes. By cultivating empowering beliefs and letting go of limiting ones, we can unlock our potential for healing and growth. 6. Supernatural potential. Finally, Are the Placebo challenges us to think bigger. Dispenza argues that we are not limited by our circumstances or biology. We have the potential to become supernatural, capable of creating extraordinary outcomes in our lives. By mastering the power of the mind, we can move beyond the ordinary and step into a new level of consciousness where anything is possible. Conclusion. In You Are the Placebo, Joe Dispenza offers a revolutionary perspective on the power of the mind to heal the body and transform reality. By understanding the mind-body connection, practicing meditation and visualization, and shifting our beliefs, we can harness the placebo effect to create profound changes in our lives. This book is a powerful reminder that we are not passive observers of our health or our circumstances. We are the creators of our reality, and the potential for healing and transformation is within each of us. So what would you change if you knew you had the power to heal and transform your life?